So you're thinking about buying a house in Kentucky in 2026. That's awesome, but I get it. It can feel pretty overwhelming. The good news is there's a lot of help out there if you just know where to look. In this explainer, we're going to cut through all the noise and give you a clear, simple guide to the grants and assistance that can actually make your dream of owning a home happen.
All right, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the biggest challenge, that down payment. Then we'll dive into all the help available from big statewide programs down to local city grants. And we'll wrap it all up with the very first steps you can take right now. Think of this as your treasure map to getting those house keys.
For almost every single homebuyer out there, the journey starts with the exact same giant hurdle. Long before you're picking out paint colors or renting a moving truck, you've got to figure out a way to conquer the down payment.
And what's a hurdle it is? Look at that number. That's the average 20% down payment for a home in Kentucky. Seeing a number like that can be, well, incredibly discouraging, right? It's a huge amount of money to save up, and for so many people, it can feel like a totally impossible goal.
And you are not alone in feeling that way. This homebuyer, Elizabeth, she felt the exact same thing. But here's the really good news. That feeling of wanting to give up, it doesn't have to be the end of your story. There are programs specifically designed to help you get over that hurdle.
And that's the key takeaway here. You don't have to come up with that giant number all by yourself. Kentucky actually has this really solid network of support programs just waiting to help you out. You just have to know that they exist and, understand how they work.
We can basically break all this help down into three main buckets. First, you've got your statewide programs, mostly coming from the Kentucky Housing Corporation, which you'll hear called KHC. Second, there are these really powerful regional grants, like the big one, the Welcome Home Grant. And finally, you've got super local help right in your own city or county. So let's start with the one that gets everybody the most excited. And honestly, for good reason. It's the most powerful program out there, but it's also the most competitive. Let's talk about the Welcome Home Grant. Now let's really focus on that one magic word, grant. Unlike a loan, a grant is money that you do not have to pay back. As long as you live in the house for 5 years, it is basically a gift to help you buy your home. And we're talking about a serious gift here. The Welcome Home Grant can give you up to $20,000. That can go toward your down payment and your closing costs. I mean, an amount like that can just completely change the game and cover a massive chunk of that upfront cost. But here comes the catch, and it's a big one. This program runs on a limited pot of money, and when it's gone for the year, it is gone. The funds are handed out strictly on a first-come, first-served basis. And with thousands of buyers all scrambling for this free money, it usually runs out in just a few days, sometimes even a few hours. This insane competition creates the most critical timeline in all of Kentucky real estate. You cannot, I repeat, cannot wait for the program to open to start looking. You have to have a house with a signed purchase contract before the floodgates open on April 6th at 8 a.m. sharp. That means the real work, it starts right now. Okay, so with that crazy urgency in mind, the big question is, do you qualify? Let's take a look at the main requirements. The number one thing they look at is your total household income. It has to be at or below 80% of the limit for your specific county. You also have to chip in at least $500 of your own money. But here's some great news. You don't actually have to be a first-time homebuyer to qualify for this one. So, what if the timing for the Welcome Home Grant just doesn't work for you? Or what if the money runs out before you can grab it? Don't stress. There is a super reliable year-round backup plan, the Kentucky Housing Corporation's program. KHC offers something called a Down Payment Assistance Program, or DEAP for short. The key difference here is that this is a loan, not a grant. Think of it as a second, smaller mortgage that sits on top of your main one. You pay it back over 15 years, but the most important part? It's available all year long. So this table really lays out the choice you've got to make. On one hand, the Welcome Home Grant gives you more money and it's forgivable, which is amazing, but it's a super high-stakes race against the clock. On the other hand, the KHC loan offers a little less and has to be paid back, but it's a dependable rock you can count on any time of the year. To qualify for help from KHC, you'll generally need a credit score of at least 620, though some of their loans do ask for a 660. You also need to fit within the income and purchase price limits for your county, but these are usually a bit more generous than the limits for the Welcome Home Grant. Now, while KHC operates across the whole state, the help doesn't stop there. Actually, it gets even more specific.
A lot of Kentucky's cities and counties offer their own unique programs, so it really pays to see what's available right in your backyard. And these local programs can be pretty powerful. I mean, look at Louisville Metro. They offer up to $25,000 in assistance. Lexington offers up to $15,000, and a city like Covington has a $10,000 forgivable loan. These are all designed to invest right back into their own communities.
You're going to see this term forgivable loan pop up a lot with city programs, and it's a fantastic middle ground. Basically, you get the money as a loan, but if you just live in the house as your main home for a set number of years, the city just forgives the debt. Poof, it's gone. It turns into a grant over time.
Okay, we have covered a ton of ground. We've talked grants, we've talked loans, we've talked local programs. With all this info swirling around, what is the absolute first thing you should do to get this journey started? Well, first, remember, you don't have to figure all this out alone. Just like the McWhorter family from Paducah said, having an expert who knows these programs inside and out, it just makes the whole process a breeze. The right pros can point you to the best options for your exact situation. So here is your action plan. 3 simple steps. 1. Go find the specific income limits for your county to see what you might qualify for. 2. Find a lender who actually works with these programs. Not all of them do, so this is a crucial step. And 3. Get pre-approved now. This is the single most important thing you can do, especially if you've got your eye on that Welcome Home grant. You now have the map. You know where the treasure is buried. You know about the grand prizes, the reliable lifelines, and the local secrets that can help you buy a home in Kentucky. So the only question left is, where are you going to begin?